Self-settle is a great foundation for this behaviour, but it isn't essential. If you'd like to teach the self-settle, then click on the link in the description below. There's a few things that we can do to make teaching on your bed go really smoothly. One is where you position the bed. So I've got a chair on one side and a cabinet on a wall is fine at the back, and then I'm standing on this side. The other is the type of bed that you use. So if you use vet bedding, go for double side, so it's really easy to get the dog have all four paws on the bed. Or you can go for something like a raised bed, and again a large bed with high sides, so it's a really clear boundary for the dog. The other thing is when you're reinforcing the dog, always feed the bed and not the dog, and that just makes being on the bed really reinforcing, and prevents the dog from getting off it to come towards you for reinforcement. Step 1. Lure the dog onto the bed. In step 1, I'm going to use an exaggerated arm movement. So I'll have a treat in this hand, I'll sweep my arm across my body, have it over the bed and drop the treat onto the bed. As soon as the dog moves onto the bed, I'm then going to add multiple treats to make being on there really reinforcing. Yep. And as soon as they go onto the bed, feed multiple treats. So you can mark, if you're using marker words, use yep as they move onto the bed. If you don't use marker training, then you can just praise them for being on the bed. And then even now we are going to introduce a release cue. So you say, okay, and then encourage the dog off if they don't know what that means, and they can have one treat for coming off the bed. So multiple treats on the bed, one treat for coming off it. Yep. If they don't see the treat as you drop it onto the bed, just point it out to them before you then start to add multiple treats. And the other way that you can release them off the bed is with a hand target, if you use one. Touch. Good. Bit slow, but we'll have it. And then practice that, standing in a different direction. Yep. So she's not quite on the bed there, so I just feed her in this position, and that just gets all 4 feet on the bed. And we're not really worrying about position at the moment, so she can be sitting, standing, or lying down. Touch. Good girl. Good. Step 2, removing the lure. The next step is to repeat exactly the same thing, but with no treat in this hand. And the same as before, as soon as the dog goes onto the bed, feed multiple treats. Okay. Yep. So we're not worrying about position. Feeding low will promote that down, so if they do move down, that's great, but we're not hanging out for it. And once your dog's doing that really well with no treat in your hand, just slightly move your position. Okay. Yep. Good girl. Look at all those sweeties. Look at those sweeties. Okay. Yep. Step 3. Adding the down. Then we add the down cue. Down. Yep. And if your dog doesn't lie down on a vocal cue, then you can use a hand signal. Okay. Yep. Good girl. And then again, you're just going to move position slightly. Okay. Step 4. The dog offers a down. Now we're not going to give the cue down, we're going to see if the dog offers it. Yep. If they do, mark and reinforce them straight away. If they don't lie down, give them about 5 seconds to respond. And then if they've still not laid down, then you can use your hand signal or your vocal cue to get them to do it. And then go back a stage, so go back to doing the arm movement and cueing the down for the next 5 or 6 repetitions, and then practice pausing again. Okay. Yep. Once they're going onto the bed and they're going down reliably, you can just start to gradually change your position a little bit. Adding the final cue. Now we're going to add the verbal cue. So I'm going to use bananas because Isla already understands on your bed. So I'll say the cue word just before I give the hand signal, and then feed her when she goes on the bed as before. Bananas. Yep. Good girl. Bananas. Yep. Good girl. So she still gets lots of treats going on as before. Okay. Bananas. Yep. And you'll see on that one she actually went before I even gave the hand signal, which is great. Good girl. Well done. That's fabulous. Okay. Bananas. Yep. So we now have a new go to bed on the cue bananas. Good girl. Step 6, add duration, distance and distractions in the same room that you've been practicing in initially, but then in different rooms of the house and in the garden. Remember when you change environment that you'll need to go back a few steps to ensure success. We can also use on your bed to teach the dog to go from high arousal play to a more low arousal static behaviour.